VC. How are we? How was that entry? Was it minimal splash? I doubt it. Not with this frame. Hope everybody is well. What the hell am I doing in a pool? Well, being in a pool's fine, but talking about records in a pool is something different, isn't it? Is this a world first? I don't know. I'm going to put it out there. Maybe someone like Rob in Boston can let us know, because he's been around one of the longest on the VC. But yeah, maybe the first VC video done inside a pool. I've had this idea for a while, quite a while, and yeah, and James Buttery, the Kiwi VC member, he did a video where he was near the water, beautiful scenic place in New Zealand, and he talked about, has there been a VC video in the water, and you know, I had that idea, and I sort of, so these are vinyl finds, over probably since the turn of the year actually, so the last, say, 3 months now, isn't it? Or 2 complete months. So yes, got my towel because it's needed, because this is a clearly a wet environment. Actually, I was going to get my daughter to help me do this, and just maybe, rather than me holding in the records with slightly damp hands, but she wanted to charge me $10. I wanted her just to bring it across the screen, but nah, told her she's streaming. Anyway, so here we are. Let's just go through the records. So these are mostly record stores and an antique store that I frequent. Yeah, so let's just get into it. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy this. Hope it's you know, it's different, it's new, and yeah. Okay, so let's start off with Phil Seymour. Classic sort of 80s looking cover, isn't it? Very 80s. And this was a bit of a blind buy, just for a few dollars, and just sort of caught my eye. What's this called? I think it's just self-titled. He was quite a famous drummer, but also, you know, sings and plays guitar. He was famously the backing vocals on Tom Petty's American Girl and Breakdown. Probably the most famous song on this is Precious to Me, which is a really cool song. This is new wave pop sort of stuff, so yeah, not bad for a few bucks. Yeah, I was happy to get that, and yeah, I was happy with that. Try and find a dry spot. Alright, Linda Ronstadt, Brian at Shamrockers, he's been sort of recommending us to, sorry, the sun's sort of had a hat, so the weather's a little bit cool here. Is it the end of summer? It might be the start of autumn today, for us down here, and like we've had, it's a little bit less, it's not as hot lately, which is good, but we've also had some rain, which is great as well. So, Linda Ronstadt, Brian's been telling us to sort of who can pick some up. Yeah, so she's got a nice voice, hasn't she? This is Heart Like a Wheel. So I thought I'd pick it up. I'm not sure. I think it's not to 74, so mid-career of hers possibly. It's got the classic You're No Good on it. And yeah, nice voice. I mean, I probably won't pick up many more Linda Ronstadts, but it's good to have one or two of hers in your collection. John Waits. A lot of people talk about John Waits on the VC, and I wasn't. I haven't. This is my first album of his, and of course I knew this song growing up. What a great song in the 80s, 84. So Missing You was a massive song in the 84. This is John Waits, No Breaks. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, so happy to find that, and my first John Waits. And as I say, a lot of people talk about him and really rave about John Waits, so I'm keen to sort of find some more. So John Waits, No Breaks. Picked up another Stones to my collection, which always very happy to keep adding to my collection. This is a goat head soup. Pretty good for $8. Very happy with that. This is at my local record store. So these are all from this little batch here from my local record store a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, I'm not going to take things out because it's moist around here, and the records are fine. I guess the vinyl will be fine if it falls into the pool or something like that, but the labels and the covers will suffer. Yeah, so at the record store, he often brings the price down significantly, even just because of the cover. If there's any sort of damage on the covers, which it's fine by me, you don't, as people say, you don't play the cover. And yeah, look, this is good, but I think people talk about it that it doesn't hold up to because some of the other classics, which around the time. So probably previously to sort of this coming out in '73, there was like Let It Bleed and Sticky Fingers, and they're massive. Some of the best Stones outputs that's ever been produced. So this might suffer because it was released around those sort of dates when those were out. So, but this was good. The first 3 songs did nothing for me, and I nearly going to take the needle off. This is not a good album, but I stuck through it, which I'm happy I did, and then it really picks up after the first 3 songs. Can't quite remember top of my head what those were, but yeah, just check out the track listing. But yeah, I thought the first 3 songs not good, but after that it really picked up, and I was happy with it. So got to spin these again. So I've mostly only spun these once or twice, these things, over the last few months, and happy to get this one. Moody Blues. I've never actually had this one. I've got quite a few Moody Blues, but this is probably their number 1. So Lisa would love this. Woo! Well, she does love it. And this is obviously got the classic Nights in White Satin, but just a really nice album. And I love the way it sort of builds up. Sorry, I'm not sure, the light's all over the place here, but don't know if you can see that, but it just really builds. So it goes from the day begins, dawn, the morning, lunch break, the afternoon, evening, and night. So it really builds really nicely, and then hits the max with Nights in White Satin. So really happy to get that in the collection. And picked up a Zappa as well. So Zappa's not easy to find. This was I think about $18, but they're not easy to find. For anything under $20, I'm going to give it a go. So it's only my second Zappa after Joe's Garage. This was Debbie. Debbie put a little thing on there. A little Debbie loves Viv. Hope it all worked out for you, Deb and Viv. And yeah, so Zoot Allures. This came out in '76. I mean, everyone knows Zappa. So, and after one listen, you can't really make a proper judgment really, because he's a bit out there, but I didn't find it too out there, this album. So definitely looking forward to spinning it more and just to see how I feel about it. But it was pretty reasonable listen. And I think, the last one I picked up from the record store was a bit of Van, the Astral Weeks. Now, something I probably should have said, something was not quite right to me. $10, which is good value, I reckon, and it was up on the wall. So normally ones on the wall are, the pricier ones and the best ones really, but in your sort of blind sort of state when you think you get a good deal there, and you just sort of, you're a bit, I don't know, in a bit of a trance or delusional state, and you think, oh, it's great. It just doesn't play very well. Lots of noise on this, even from by my standards. It's not that it's very scratched, it's just lots of noises. So I tried cleaning it up, but no luck so far, but I'll keep working on it. So Astral Weeks, fortunately not the best quality, not the best album for just noise and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm going to keep cleaning it up. That was from the record store. This is something, these next couple are just stuff I picked up from a charity store, just for I think $1 or $2 each actually. I was quite surprised to see this, The Shadows. Life in the Jungle. Now, you know, obviously the Shadows, the instrumental band from, I think, you know, 60s, 70s, and I didn't realise they had like a later release, like later releases in the 80s. This was 80 something, and I had to Google it just to make sure this is the same band. I mean, it can only be one Shadows though, but yeah, like, so I haven't actually spun this yet, but I left most of these outer sleeves on, as I can say, because this is harsh conditions out here. Not harsh, just wet conditions, I should say. Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see. I wonder if it's still instrumental, sort of based. But yeah, the Shadows, I was happy to get that, and yeah, I've never seen it before, so see how it is. And a John Denver I've never seen before as well. Higher Ground, you know, at this charity store there was heaps of Nana Muscuri, and I won't pick up really. Not that I've given her a chance, but I don't know. And there was heaps of Shirley Bassey, which I only really need a couple of Shirleys, and they're all in great condition, in outer sleeves. And this is another example of one in nice condition in outer sleeve. John Denver, I'd never seen this one before. Higher Ground. Got to give it a punt for $1 or $2, and it's got a song on there, Sing Australia, so I've got to give that a punt. And this one, something my friend Dean at Grandma's Handbag just picked up recently, and he didn't pick it up for the cover. He said, Nancy Sinatra. I didn't pick it up for the cover either. I just picked it up because it's a good album, and you know, this is the cover that comes with it. What are you going to do? So yeah, so my first Nancy pickup for $1 was the only album I could get from this charity store. The rest was just rubbish on that sort of tricolour reprise. Careful of conditions out here, Roscoe. And yeah, and I spun this, and she's got a lovely voice, so yeah, nice to have. Let me go for a quick little dip again. Back in a second. Oh, hey. Hello. That's nice. Okay. Hope everybody is well. Actually, I recently went past 150 subs, so happy. Really happy. Thank you very much to all my subscribers, all the people that comment on my videos and have frequent conversations with. Really dig talking to you, you know, going through this great journey of exploring music and just sharing the whole thing with you guys. It's great, and girls, and yeah, so really appreciate all your subs. You know, 150, it's only a really small fry, but you know, I'm stoked to get that many, so very happy. So thank you very much, and yep, it's great getting to know you. Have I hit play or record? Yes, I have. Okay, now to new records, which I actually don't normally buy new records because they're generally on the expensive side, and we don't really have Amazon's coming to Australia, I think, or maybe just recently here, but because you guys seem to get a lot of cool stuff from Amazon at pretty good prices, but generally, you know, new albums are, you know, generally above $30, so it's a bit beyond my sort of what I'm willing to pay. So, but I had to pick up this. This is a sort of genre I'm sort of starting to get into, and I'm surprised I haven't really got into it that much previously growing up, but the VC just helps you branch off into those tributaries, isn't it, and transverse those new paths for yourself. So this is a great album. Radio Birdman, Radio's Appear. These guys, Australian punk rock, fast, hard-hitting punk rock from the 70s. This came out in '77, so same time as The Clash, London Calling, and Sex Pistols, The Bollocks, and yeah, I've never really listened to them much. I was aware of them, but I don't know why, I just didn't really listen to them. But yeah, so happy I'm going down this route now. Very highly influenced by the Stooges, and they're massive Stooges fans, obviously, because this is actually dedicated, and you can see that there, dedicated to the Stooges, and of course you've got to play this loud. And the first song, TBI, is a Stooges song. Just, you know, punk rock, hard hitting, sort of that Detroit sort of Stooges, MC5 sort of feel and sort of influences. So it's definitely a path I want to go down and explore more, that Detroit sort of punk rock scene in the sort of late 70s, Radio Birdman. Now this actually came with a little scratch on it. Ordered this online from a record store in Melbourne, and I wasn't going to say anything, but you know, I'll just let them know and see what they can, what their response is going to be. And he was quite nice, the guy, and he said, look, I'm happy if you return it, I'll refund your money, but I didn't want to return it. I mean, actually it doesn't affect play at all. It's a scratch. It's not small, it's a moderate, but it doesn't affect play at all. So he said, look, if you buy another album, I'll give you a good deal. And so that really led me to, so it's actually his fault, led me to buy another new one. So he pretty much gave this to me at half price, and I checked out his catalogue and just to see what he's got there, what sort of something that interests me. A lot of it interests me, but just what I wanted to get, and I went for the Pixies, my first Pixies Doolittle. Will at the Vinyl Potato is a massive fan of this. This is probably his favourite album, and this is a great album. I'm sure you know it, but if you don't, this is definitely something to have in your collection. Just rock, alternate rock, indie rock, but very clever stuff, and just the music just changes direction where you're not sort of expecting it. Quirky, clever, and great musicianship, and the male and female sort of share the singing. And this is a great album. I really dig this. This and Birdman, right up my alley, and yeah, great stuff. And it's quite unique where the song titles are on the outer cover. So Debassy it starts with, and Tame moves on to classic. Just great album. So really, I'm sure you know it, but if you don't, check it out. It's such a brilliant album. Okay, and now this is next batch, which is I was sort of calling it a semi-grail. Let's just call it a grail. It's going to include a grail at the end. These are that's the cockatoos. Very noisy bird. Hey, cocky. I don't think you can see him up there. Very noisy bird, but beautiful. So from an antique store. Now this, I've been there a few times, and he's got two big shelves of records, and they're all pretty tightly packed. So you've got to work a little bit for what if you're gonna find something, but just I don't mind that. Now the prices are variable, like these sort of antique stores. So everything that's not labelled with the price is $5, and everything else is priced. Now he had like ridiculous prices on some of them. Like he had Zeppelin Presents for $90. He had Pink Floyd Wish You Were Here for $90, and generally these are on the whole, say, good condition. Nothing brilliant, and the covers are acceptable to good. But I'll tell you how much they cost me in the end. And it's definitely someone you can go up there and get a stack and then say what sort of price you're going to give me. So went for TMG, Ted Mulray Gang. This is an Australian band from the 70s, maybe into the early 80s. Rock, really rock. Sort of not hard rock, sort of on the soft rock, but sometimes some harder riffs. But Ted Mulray Gang, I've never actually had one of their albums, but I saw it there. No label, so it was $5. But Ted Mulray is actually an English guy who's singer-songwriter who's written quite a lot of songs. And probably the most famous song from Ted Mulray Gang is Jump in My Car. Which is not on this album, but yeah, I was happy to get that. And he passed away in sort of his 50s, but I think the band still carries on. They've got a bit of a religious sort of groupie sort of thing. Yeah, they've got definitely a groupies that do follow them around still. Ted Mulray Gang. This was Blind Buy, and something I was after something a little bit jazzy looking, and I think this, and I presume this was a bit jazzy. Just look at the cover. Just seemed that way, and there's been a lot of jazz shown recently, and I've got limited jazz knowledge and limited jazz collection to my collection. So, but the main guy out of this is Jack DeJohnte, who, reading a little bit about him, he's quite a famous and sought after drummer. Played with like Miles Davis and Sonny Rollins and Alice Coltrane. So yeah, and quite a good drummer. I think he's in the Drummers Hall of Fame, which I never knew there was a Drummers Hall of Fame. I wonder if there's a Triangle Hall of Fame. Anyway, but so Jack DeJohnte on drums, piano, John Abercrombie on guitar and mandolin, Lester Bowie, don't know if any relation, on trumpet, and Eddie Gomez on bass. This is pretty cool. The first side is, it's a jazz album, but it's dominated by sort of the trumpet and the drums, which is cool. The second side, I don't know if it's like a fusion of everything, but didn't really like too much, but got to spin it more. But happy to get that. And this store, Blues and Fudges, if you're around in Sydney, see if that's still around. I don't know if it is. Probably some massive high rise there now. But yeah, New Directions, Jack DeJohnte. The side one was good. Happy to get this. Elvis Costello, My Aim Is True. This is a great album. There's some great hits on this. So happy to get that. A little bit warped though, so I've got to try and see if I can do something about that, but very happy with that. No label on that, so that would have been $5 too. Chisels, Cold Chisel, the band of Unearthed, Aussie Unearthed compilation. This is a great track list of Chisel songs. Great album. My first Skynyrd. Awesome. So these ones had some price on them now, so they would have $15, but I'll tell you what I paid at the end for all this batch at this antique store. I can't remember if this is a live album. It's definitely got live sort of gatefold. Sounds great. First Skynyrd, I'm definitely after their first album, but this one was known for it's got a lot of songs on there that aren't available on other albums, or sort of a bit rarer songs. So there's a track list on the bottom there. Hello. And yeah, so very happy with Skynyrd and want to get some more. But yeah, this is a cool album. They're a great sounding band. And very happy to find number one, Blimp. Zeppelin 1, so stoked to get that. Had the price of $35 on it. Great songs. Not, there's quite a lot of slower parts in this album. There's some definitely very bluesy songs like You Shook Me, but I love Baby Don't Leave Me. Days of Confused is great. Obviously Communication Breakdown, Black Mountain Side. Great album. The first time I listened to this, I was doing a few things. I didn't give my full devotion to it, but I thought, I'm not sure. But when I sat down with it and connected with Blimp 1, great album. So happy to get it, and looking forward to getting 2 and 3. And let's say my grail for the day. Grail. Haven't been ticking off many grails, but The Doors, LA Woman. What an album! This is rocking. The Doors. Everyone knows The Doors. I don't have to say anything to you, but this is a great album. And I can't remember listening to this album probably in itself too often growing up. I mean, I had the CD, the double CD, which probably everyone had, with Jim on the front there, and that had all the classics. But yeah, this is a great rockin' bluesy album. Absolutely love it. This had $20 price tag, which I was very happy to pay that. It's quite hard to find. You don't see a lot of Doors shown, because I think they're not easy to find and probably not cheap either. But great songs. The Challenging's great, awesome. Been Down So Long, obviously LA Woman and Riders in the Storm. But Love Her Madly. This is awesome. I'm going to call it a grail for me. So I went up to the guy and I said, would you do this for 50? No, these two plus all those other ones from Ted Mulray gang. And he goes, well, these two cost 55. And he said, well, I'll do them all for 60. So awesome. So that sort of worked out about $8 each. So there you go. Is this the first in the pool VC video of a strange man showing records from inside a pool? I don't know. Let's give Guinness Book of Records a call. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. Hope everybody is well, and I'll see you soon.